What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Subside, and today we're going to be building this XP farm, this Kelp XP farm to be more exact. So this one's a little bit smaller than I've built in the past, but it's a lot more efficient in regards to it doesn't break as much. And at the end of the video, I'm also going to be going over a few things that can help you prevent this from breaking, and also how to fix it when it does break. And remember, if you're new to the channel and you want to be kept up to date on all the latest Minecraft farms, builds and redstone contraptions, make sure you're subscribed. Now let's get straight into the video. Okay, so I'm going to be doing this one a little bit differently. Usually what I'll do is I'll record what I'm doing and then I'll voice over. But today I'm going to be doing this live so I can make sure that I'm getting as much detail in as possible when I'm doing the build for you. And I've just noticed I've got these smokers in a completely wrong place. I don't know. Ah, right, I see what's happened. So I was trying to get this to break so I could try and fix it so I could show you. And what's happened is push the blocks forward and pushed my smokers out of the way. So I just need to replace them. There we go. So yeah, so this is what we're going to be building today. This is the unlimited Kelp XP farm. It's pretty straightforward to build, like I said before. And if I switch it on, you can see it works just fine. Now at the end of the video, I'll go through some things that can go wrong, things that can break on this and how to fix them. But essentially, it doesn't break that often, and when it does break, it's fairly straightforward to fix. So less of me now, let's just get straight into the build, and I'm going to show you what you need for the build. So you're going to need about 6 hoppers, 2 slabs of any kind. You're going to need 2 smokers, 1 redstone repeater, 6 chests, 1 lever, 2 buttons, 2 glass panes, 2 sticky pistons, 2 buckets of water, 4 redstone torches, a stack of whatever building blocks you want, 2 normal pistons, 12 redstone, and well, about 6 sand and about 4 kelp. Ignore this, this is just what I picked up. So to start this build, you need an area about 4 blocks wide by 7 blocks deep. So an area like this should be fine. I think I've measured this out anyway. So let's just start this side. So let's go about here. And what you want to do is dig 2 holes. So we're going to dig 1 hole there and 1 hole there. And in the first hole, we're going to put our redstone torch on the side of this middle block, like so. And on the next one, we're going to place down some redstone dust. Next, grab your building blocks, whatever you've chosen to build it with, and place 1 on... Oh. I've only gone and got concrete. I don't need concrete. I need normal blocks. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I've got my blocks now, and just place 1 on top of the torch, 1 on top of the redstone, like so. Repeater in the middle, and that should start flashing. So that means that's working, and what we want to do now is just place a lever on the right hand block. Switch that off. That'll pause that from now. Ignore that. I can go build around that. So next, what I need is just going to get rid of this. Sorry, I had a phone call which stopped recording. So what we'll do is, once you've got this clock set up, what we need to do now is just grab some pistons. We're going to need our sticky pistons first. So what you want to do is come 1 block behind this and place 2 sticky pistons facing towards you. Come around the back, and then we're going to come from this block, place down redstone coming around the back of these pistons. Now these pistons should be extended, so if they're extended, you've done it right basically. Actually, before you do that, if you just get rid of this redstone quickly, just get rid of these 2 blocks now. It's just get them out of the way, and that's crucial because this is not going to work if those 2 blocks are still there. So there needs to be no blocks at all underneath these piston arms. Now once you've done that, grab a redstone torch and place it on the side of your piston. Next, you want to place a block on top of the torch on top of your block, and another block on top of the torch, like so. And then finally a torch on the top of that block. So you've got this sort of redstone ladder going up. Once you've done that, come around the back and place another block on the back, and then 2 across, like so. So it should like line up to these pistons at the bottom. Place 2 temporary blocks on top, and then place your standard pistons on them, getting rid of them afterwards, like so. And then finally just get some redstone and place 3 pieces of redstone across the back of these pistons. So you should have something that looks a little bit like this. Now this is basically the skeleton of the design. This is all the redstone done anyway. So if you want to test that, just flick the switch. Now what should happen is the bottom piston should be firing just before the top one, so you've got sort of this alternating piston firing going on. If so, that's all done, and we can move on to the next part. So for this next part, what we're going to need now is just to build the body of the design, so we can get rid of these pistons and redstone. We don't need these anymore, and a lever. So you're just going to need your building blocks, your hoppers, water, slabs, some sand and kelp, your chests, buttons, glass, and that'll do for now. So what we're going to start with is by putting the sand against these top ones so they drop down. So you want to put 2 on each, like so, and 2 in front of your sticky pistons. So you've got this sort of L shape, making sure that there's still no blocks underneath these piston arms. So next then we want to sort of like cover this sand up. So I'm just going to build some blocks up the side, like so. And build this around like that. Place some blocks underneath your pistons. You're also going to come up and over the top of this piston, like so. I believe one more. No, that's perfect. So we can build this up too. 1, 2, and then build out like so. Up 3. Actually, let's build this down to the floor just so it makes it look a little bit neater. So you can see here, I've actually gone up this one as well. So you can essentially do this part as whatever way you like. The main goal is to get the sand with 1 block. So I'll do this way. So you've got the sand, then you've got 1 block in between the sand, and then you're going to have your hoppers here then. But before we do that, we just need to place our chests in. So what I'm going to do is drop down, place a chest there, get rid of that one, place the chest there, like so. Grab my hoppers and place the hoppers into the back of that chest. Next, grab some glass panes and we're going to place them on top of the hoppers. And then we're going to place 2 blocks going across like that, leaving a gap in the center. Grab your buttons and place them on the underside of these blocks. Then go ahead and put your slabs in the hole like so. You should have something that looks a little bit like this now. It should look exactly like this actually, depending on what sort of block you've used. And I do apologize if you can hear my controller clattering about. Like I said, I don't usually do this live. I usually edit the video and voice over. But what I'm going to do now is just place a bucket of water on top of each slab. So you've got this sort of flow down and then flows towards your hoppers. Then I'm going to place my kelp on the sand and just in front of the pistons also. So just to test that this is all working now, what I'm going to do is just flip this lever. Oh, perfect. So that's broken. So that's actually good. I actually don't mind that breaking now. So I can sort of show you how stuff like this happens. I just got to figure out how it's happened first. So what have I done? So let me place the sand back in just to stop that water flow and replace the redstone. So let me get some redstone dust. So if it breaks, it's just a case of going back round. And when it does break, you're going to have to come back under here and remove the 2, because the sand would have dropped down. So remove that again. Now, I don't know if it's this, because I haven't done it on this one. But I usually cover up the back because that usually helps. I've got that on the smallest ticks, that's fine. We're going to get rid of this. That's it. That's probably what it is. So I didn't cover these 2 blocks here. So I'm going to cover them now and switch it back on. But I need to refill the water first. Oh no, that's gone again. Pop 2 back down. Still empty under there. So it's just a case of filling about with it until you get it right. So let's try it again. And now we've got it working. So that's all working now. It's all flowing in, as you can see. And it stacks up fairly quickly, even with just the 2 kelp. I mean, you're going to get stacks in seconds with this. So I'm going to turn that off for now and continue with the rest of the build. Okay, so for the next part of the build, we just need to add in our smokers and the remainder of our hoppers. So you want to come under this chest, crouch and place 2 hoppers. Next, you want to place your smokers. So place 2 smokers underneath these hoppers. Place another 2 hoppers either side, like so. And then you want to place down a chest on top of both. That's going to be for your fuel. Like that. And get rid of these blocks underneath. So what we're going to do here, actually if I break this a little bit. So what I'm going to do is place down 2 chests there. And hoppers going into the back of both. And then just going to fill that back up so that's all working. Now let me just make sure that's still working. Yep, perfect. And what you do then, so to start this off, just grab whatever fuel you have. So I'm just going to grab some kelp. I'll chuck 32 in this one. That's not going to go down, I'll explain why in a second. And this one, so that one goes down straight away. So this lever has to be here, but it's locking this hopper. So just switch it on and you'll see that start flowing down, and that should start going now. And then basically as soon as that's empty you can turn it off, but you need to turn this on to start with anyway, otherwise you're not going to have any kelp to go through your smoker. So now all you have to do is essentially wait for this chest to fill up. So once this chest is full, then that's where all your XP is going to come. So this chest will fill and you need to wait for these hoppers under the smoker to fill also. Then they'll start piling up in this section, and that's when you need to start taking it out. Now you can, if you wanted to, fill this up with random blocks to make it a little bit quicker. So you could do this, and then as soon as that's full, then you can just start taking it out then. But you're not going to get as much XP as if you let the whole thing fill. Because how this works is it'll count the XP from the kelp that passes through the smoker, and then give you that XP when you take it out of the actual smoker every time. So it won't be a one-off XP. Every time you take something from these smokers, you're going to get the amount of XP for all the kelp that's gone through it. So essentially you could have a ton of chests going all the way down to bedrock, wait for them all to fill up with kelp, take one bit of dried kelp from the smoker and go up to level, I don't know, like 100, 200. I don't have the patience to test that myself, but that's basically how this works. So there's a few ways that this can break or not work. So like I said, one main reason it's not going to work is if there's blocks in these 2 places, the 2 spots underneath this piston arm. If there's blocks here, this isn't going to work, your kelp's not going to grow. Another one we've had is people saying that this water block, or one of the water blocks, disappears. So if I can see if this will happen, it's not happening with that one, so let me turn this one on and see if it'll happen with this one. So it's not happening at the moment, and it happens every now and again. There's no way around it. Basically what happens is, as you can see, the water reappears when the piston goes back. Sometimes that doesn't happen, and if that doesn't happen, the kelp's not going to grow. So to fix that, all you need to do is just switch that off, give it a second, and switch it back on, and that fixes itself. Now another thing you don't want to do with this is leave it on, exit the world and come back in, because that's going to break. You're going to spawn back in and there's going to be water everywhere. All your redstone's going to be disappeared, it's going to be swept away, and your machine's going to be broken, and it's a nightmare then to put it all back together. And finally, another thing is, don't leave this on and then go out of render distance, because when you get back again, the sand's going to break, there's going to be water everywhere. So what I suggest is AFK in next to this, just until this is filled to however much kelp you want in there, and you've got a decent amount left in the top ready for reserves. Like you can see, I've got a fair bit in the hoppers already just for me talking, and when you need to use it, you could turn that off. So if you've got kelp, just fill this up with kelp. The only time you need this on is when you need kelp, so you don't need this on to get XP from the smokers. But one more thing I do want to add to this is the fact that you can use the kelp that comes through it. So when this is full and you start taking kelp from this section, you're going to have a lot of dried kelp on your hands then, because you can't put it back in because that's going to be full. And you can't put dried kelp in there because that's not going to count. It's only the kelp that comes through the smokers that counts towards the XP. So you're going to have a lot of dried kelp on your hands, and the best practice to do with that is change it into kelp blocks. Put them in here, so this whole thing is sustainable and it fuels itself. Oh, perfect. So we've got another error that can happen with these. Is it happened to the other one? Yeah, it's happened to both of them, funny enough. So what's happened is one of the kelp's gone. All you need to do again, switch it off. Maybe put a ladder going up this wall. Switch it off. Grab some kelp. Replant it. Switch it back on. And you're good to go again. You might not even have to switch it off. Hang on. No, you don't even have to switch it off. Just place another kelp on the floor and that keeps going again. So these things will happen. It's a glitch. It's not supposed to be smooth. It's not an intended mechanic in the game. So you will have problems with it. Just keep an eye on it and make sure you are not doing anything that will make it break, like leaving the render distance or going into the end or the nether or leaving the world with this switched on. So make sure before you leave your world that these are all switched off. So I hope you found this useful. If you did, consider subscribing. We're nearly at 200 subscribers and I can't thank everyone enough who has hit that subscribe button so far. The growth has been mad. We're nearly 2 months into making videos and yeah, we've almost had 200 for it's been a long day. We nearly had 200 subscribers, so thanks to everyone who subscribed so far and liked the video. And if you want to be kept up to date on all the latest Minecraft builds, farms and redstone contraptions, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I've been Subside and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Peace.